Comeuppance Network.
This is how to watch TV.
On Comeuppance Network. This is how to watch TV.
Chronologically Lost with Joel and Jenna. My name is Joel, and this is Jenna.
We're brought to you by Comeuppance Network. You can find all of our social media links at thisishowtowatchtv.com.
Or hit us up on the Twitter at _howtowatchtv. But we are here with episode 31 of Chronologically Lost.
What?
32? Episode 32.
I was like,
of
what? I
Chronologically
watched the wrong episode?
Shut the fuck up. Okay. So, a little bit of admin at the beginning. I want to say thanks to a viewer, TJ, letter T, Jay. Don't know anything more than that. I got an email. Has been commenting on these and offered to do the recap for me. So it was much less stressful having it.
Did he do it?
Oh, he sent me
that's
a long
amazing.
ass
Wow.
thing. But I did end up adding to it, but it was nice to have like a baseline. It was hard to stop from reading ahead.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, so that's next? You know? But yeah, it was quite helpful, and a little more listener feedback towards the end of the show, I figure. Okay, so we start on day 9. The days were a little confusing to me in this episode. I wasn't quite sure how they knew that it was days 9 through 12, because we only saw 3 days, not 4.
Oh.
But then Kate ended up answering it for me.
Oh, okay.
Later on. It opens up with Kate walking on the beach after grabbing some bananas, and she notices clothes.
But she had, like, the bananas on a rope. So do you think the bananas were, like, she had a rope and just tied the bananas to it? Or, because bananas aren't attached to a rope to a tree, right? Like, they're just hanging from the tree.
There's even
Right?
a question about that. Could it be? Wait, are they? No, I don't think they are. I've never seen a banana rope tree.
Where'd she get the rope? And why wouldn't she have just been holding?
Oh, first of all, they
bananas?
got it in the tarp section at Home Depot.
Yes.
They also bought ropes.
Where are all the blue tarps?
She notices clothes and a book. Watership down. Then you hear Sawyer from the water. Hell of a book. And as he walks out of the water, she keeps glancing down.
Right.
I mean, could you be a little? And then she goes. He tells her it's about bunnies.
Look?
Well, of course you got to check. Would I? Personally? I guess I'd have to know what he's working with.
And
I have to know how threatened I need to be.
Water's a little cold.
Yeah. No, she said that.
Oh, she said that?
Yeah,
I
she's
forgot.
like, water must be cold out there,
Yeah.
huh?
Oh, I'm sure it is. Ocean water is not really. Well,
That's not
maybe where they're
bathing water.
at. I guess it could be. We don't really know.
He knows how to make a girl feel special.
He sure does.
Yeah, he tells her the book is about bunnies. I feel like I have to put on my list of reading all of the books that are mentioned in Lost.
Do you read books?
Yes.
Oh.
I read a chapter today.
A chapter. It's more than I've read in a month, so.
I mean, I could put any book you ever want on your phone.
But I don't.
You don't shit?
I don't want to read.
Oh, yeah, who doesn't poop? You don't read stuff while you're sitting on the toilet?
No, I Facebook. Like
but
everybody
you could
else
read.
in the world.
But you could read. Just saying, like everybody else.
Or I catch up on old emails that I need to be responding to.
Of course. As Sawyer's heading back to get his stash, he hears something, and turns out it's Boone, and he's going through his shit. Back at the caves, Jack is treating Saeed's head injury as he explains how he got hit from behind. I switched it on, then darkness. Now, that made me think of something. Why did I write that down? I switched it on, then darkness.
Because of the smoke monster?
I guess, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought the wording was...
being tied to Locke actually being the one who hit him over the head.
Okay, you know what? Since you mentioned that...
I'm glad I brought it up, thanks.
I'm glad you brought that up, yes. Because that was something that TJ said here about Locke. When he was making the notes, he said Man in Black. He was implying that Man in Black is the one who had something to do with Locke knocking Saeed out. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he said, Smokey is manipulating Locke big time. Oh, shit, that's the other one.
But what if Well, there weren't any time jumps to this point in time, right? Like, there was nobody...
What, like Man in Lock?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Like, what
that would have blown my fucking mind.
What if it was off kilter right then and they flashed to this exact moment and Man in Lock hit Saeed over the head, not John Locke?
Okay.
Possibly.
I mean
that would be really cool, but there would have been another flash, right?
Locke remembers doing it.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
He talks... Okay.
I'm pretty sure he owns up to it after a little while.
Dang. That would be really cool.
He said, I feel that Man in Black, I prefer to call it Smokey, and he said, like you, I believe Boy in Black / Man in Black was innocent. He's manipulating Locke so he can keep them together and make it easy to pit the Losties against each other and move more pawns for his plan. Locke will continue to do several things to prevent him from leaving or getting help, and I'm aware that him walking on the island also has a large role for him to want to stay. I assume the island / Jacob made him walk, but not 100% sure. I think it's just one of those things like Rose. It's a special... The electromagnetic energy there just works for him. Like it did for Rose, where she was
all I can think about is where are you going to hang that poster?
Oh, I have no idea. Well, Long Con started with Mother, and the moment Locke stared into Smokey, the manipulation Long Con began.
Long con for who?
Just the way that she did the long con to get Man in Black and Jacob to try to take over the island. That whole thing from their birth was a long con.
Man in Black, Smokey's
Man in Black
is John Locke.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's his long con. But he's also being pulled in the other direction by the island to help Jack and do his role too. There's so much more I can say, but I've already said enough in this message. First of all, if it's not paragraphs, it's not too much, because Lost, you can't just go, this. If you can, it's a boring topic. So feel free to email as much as you fucking want about that. That's not an issue. So Saeed's like, oh, I'm going to figure out who did this shit, and I'm going to fuck him up.
But how could he figure it out? Just because he's an interrogator, he's like, oh, I got this.
There you go. Yep.
But, I mean, he's just waiting for somebody to fess up, really, because there's nothing that would lead... There's no
it's
evidence.
Not like he's going to go CSI the stick or whatever.
There's no evidence as to who did it unless somebody else saw Locke do it.
Yeah. They bring a bloody Boone to the caves. Sawyer whooped his ass.
I mean, they, dragged him 1.5 miles.
Right.
Just to... I mean...
What, to have the doctor look at him?
I mean, he had some cuts. Why waste all the peroxide on him?
Valid.
I don't get it. He's like, oh, we're almost out of peroxide.
I mean, he's going to die anyway. Fuck wasting peroxide on Boone. Let him get gangrene.
Oh, my God.
We go to the opening Lost, and then we come back, and Charlie brings Claire water. He flirts with her a little bit.
That was cute.
He's trying to get her to go to the caves, and she wants to be here for when they get rescued. And Charlie, I think, has come around to the side of, I don't think it's happening.
No, he was totally like, when we get rescued?
He's like, oh yeah, when we get rescued.
Oh, I guess we should be out here for that.
That thing's going to happen.
But I'll be in the caves.
I totally believe that's going to happen. Jack is treating Boone at the caves, and they talk about why he went to Sawyer's stash. He was looking for the inhalers for Shannon's asthma. And Shannon's embarrassed about having asthma.
I don't know, but
what a douche.
I guess I just don't get... Obviously, it wouldn't be as great of a story plot, but nobody could just be like, hey, my sister has asthma and she's dying. Can I have the inhaler? Do you have the inhaler? Has anybody seen an inhaler?
Oh, rather than be a douche about it? Yeah,
right.
Who's going to go, no?
Sneaky. Right. Screw off, because, I don't have asthma, but I'm going to hold on to that anyway.
I hope she die.
Right. I mean, and again, she dies, so do we really need to...
Yeah, we don't need Boone and Shannon.
We don't really need to waste the peroxide or the inhalers.
Last person they screwed was each other.
Oh.
Both die.
Well, she doesn't sleep with Saeed on the island?
Maybe he gets it in. I don't know.
Ew.
What?
I mean, the image just really... I don't know.
I mean, I would hope so, because, major spoiler alert, I would hope that he got it in, considering... Considering she was his soulmate in the afterlife.
What?
That he met up with. He met up with Shannon, not Nadia. Still annoys people.
Why did he meet up with... What do you mean?
In the Flash Sideways.
But why did that mean that it was his soulmate?
Because that's what...
I thought it was just supposed to represent the most critical time in their life, or the most impressionable time in their life, not necessarily the...
Exactly. But Shannon was the one that woke Saeed out of his not remembering, and then they were like lovey-dovey from then on and went into the afterlife together. The Sideways. Nobody remembered about the island in the Sideways. They had to get woken up to remember that, and that Shannon was the one that...
Well, that's because they were all there waiting for thousands of years for Hurley to find somebody else to pass the flame to. I mean, Jesus.
I mean, all I'm saying is, you know...
So they're all just like, drooling.
They don't know.
Robotic chairs.
There is no time here,
floating around, like...
There's no time here, Jenna.
What was that, Wall-E? Okay.
Let's see. So, Boone saw Sawyer reading Watership Down, which was in Boone's bag, with the inhaler refills. And Jack goes to Sawyer, who's reading his letter. Isn't he fucking tired of reading that? Like, it's been 30-something years, 30 years?
He wants somebody to ask him about the letter.
That's all it is?
Yes.
He's fishing? Fuck off. I didn't even think about that.
Oh, my ankle really hurts. Why? Oh, because I ran 3 miles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's fishing. He's just sitting there like...
You could be really fishing 20 feet further towards the water. You attacked a kid for trying to help his sick sister.
But he didn't know.
And he's like, no, I whooped a thief.
Right,
and
which
you're totally
is true.
right. They exchange words about the commie share fest that Jack's running over.
I mean, so funny.
In Cave Town.
That whole sentence made me laugh out loud.
Yeah. And then they discuss the 9/10ths rule.
Commie Share Fest.
The Commie Share Fest over in Cave Town.
Hashtag Commie Share Fest.
Yeah, hashtag Commie Share Fest, hashtag
Cave Town.
Cave Town, yeah. Jack wants to make this his problem and tells Sawyer to get up. Kate shows up like the mom. Hey, what's going on here?
Oh my God, she was so irritating.
I mean, fuck off.
I really don't want you guys to fight, so I'm just
Don't fight. Are you guys fighting over me?
Don't fight over me.
Don't fight over me, but fight over me.
I'll never sleep with either of you.
Yes, she does.
Well, whatever. She probably sleeps.
I'll never make out with either of you by the end of this episode. I don't know what that is. I don't know how that's a Kate impression. Kate and Jack talk about the medicine, and Jack says, we're not savages. Not yet. So, I mean, he just assumes that we're getting there. We're going to be savages, for sure.
Well, Sawyer was prepared for savageness.
Yes, he's been saying that from day one. Like, we're not fucking...
But he's been prepared for that since he was, like, 6.
Valid. You see your dad off himself and
yeah.
Right above you, literally, like blood dripping down on the...
Oh, my God.
That's when you know you can get up and leave. When the blood starts dripping down.
What if somebody else was in the other room waiting for him to pop out?
Who?
I don't know.
The dad came home and killed the wife.
Maybe Sawyer was.
Sawyer is also... Kate says that she can go talk to him because Sawyer thinks they have a connection. And he's like, do you? Like, got all jealous.
Yeah.
Kate goes to Sawyer and asks what he wants, and he's like, Freckles, I got so many answers to that question, I wouldn't know where to start.
Right.
And what does he want for the inhalers? Good question. A kiss should do it. And she's like, nobody could be that disgusting to try to capitalize off of somebody's sister being sick and blah, blah, blah. And she then hits his weak spot and tells him how she saw him reading the letter. And
because he was fishing.
Yes. And then, yeah, exactly. Fine. And then he gets her to read it out loud. You want to know what kind of human being I am? Read it. And much like when they found the picture of her mugshot, no one really knows the context.
Right.
You know, I mean, Kate did end up being wanted, but, like, it just, you don't know in what capacity, and it just kind of felt like the same thing with this, where she's reading it not knowing who wrote it or who,
right.
You know, she doesn't know what the fuck's going on here, and she thinks he's the one who killed his own parents, probably, after the letter. Or wait, no.
No, she's thinking that a little boy
killed
wrote that
the parents, somebody else's parents. Okay, I was thinking that she thought he killed his own parents, which is kind of ironic considering Kate. Considering Kate's crime.
No, she thinks that a little boy wrote that letter to him.
Yes, and he got the parents killed.
Yes.
Okay. So, less ironic. She declines the kiss after learning this about him. I mean, he looked like such a badass, like, just
Yeah.
Just like right in her face, staring like as hard as he possibly could.
But I don't understand why he wants to be hated.
He's more comfortable in that position.
I
He knows
guess.
what to do, you know? He knows that... He knows how to react in that scenario. Saeed's asking a lot of questions about his whereabouts. And, of course, we know it was Locke that hit him, but...
Do we?
Fine, it could have been Man and Locke.
I doubt it, but I'm just saying.
I mean, that would be an... First of all, it's not, because he's not blipping through time.
Who's not?
Man and Locke.
Oh, it was
Locke.
It was
that
Locke
was blipping
flipping.
through time.
You're right. I forgot.
It could have been Locke. No, that would be stupid.
It could have been Locke that did it, and then Locke remembered in the past. I don't think so.
No. Yeah, it makes no sense. So, Locke suggests it was someone who's benefiting from the current situation, and he blames Sawyer and talks about a time delay fuse, you know, a cigarette. Mm-hmm. Did he say that? He didn't even tell him. He didn't even say, like, a time delay fuse, a cigarette. Like, that's all he has to do. Stick the wick, or whatever, the fuse halfway through a cigarette, light the cigarette, let it start burning down, and it'll eventually light it and go.
Pretty sure. I mean, I haven't been a smoker in several years. However,
I remember they used to just burn forever if you set them down.
That they, within the past 8 years, started going out if you don't drag on them for like a minute.
Okay, well,
do you remember that?
This is in 2004,
Just saying.
12 years ago.
12 years ago.
Yeah.
2004. I guess it's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really
Although
remember.
why are we discussing it? It didn't fucking happen. We know it was Locke. Anyways.
Isn't Locke out of cigarettes yet? I mean...
Locke doesn't smoke.
I mean...
Sawyer? I don't know, maybe.
You have a hair on your beard.
Yeah.
Sawyer smoking, yes.
So he gives Saeed a knife.
I mean, I get...
Shannon's having a hard time breathing at the caves, and Jack sees Sawyer walk away, and then he demands the inhalers, and then starts beating his ass, and punches him, and did you notice he grabbed his shoulder? Good continuity. He just fucking pulled... it just got ripped out of socket. I was like, fuck yeah! You don't even notice that shit when you're watching it the regular way.
No.
There's too many other important things going on. You're like, oh, he just grabbed his shoulder after he hit him.
Well, because you had just learned that Sawyer was the kid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that flashback would have been going on, or some other flashback would have been going on, and you're, like, too interested in that.
So Sawyer asks if that's all he's got, and Jack starts to realize that he's scaring people by beating the shit out of Sawyer, who's not really fighting back.
Right.
He basically says, "Welcome to the wild." You know, I've been saying we're here since day one. You need to get with your shit, Jack. Then we go to day 10. And at the beach, Charlie and Claire are talking about food cravings, and she craves peanut butter. Peanut butter. And he makes a deal to go to the caves when he finds some. That she'll go.
Yeah. Okay.
So at the caves, speaking of, back to Shannon, and Jack tries to calm her down by telling her it's anxiety and it's in her head. Good move. People who have anxiety love being told it's all in their head. That's the fucking that just calms them right down. They're like, oh, I'm depressed. Oh, fucking don't be depressed.
Right.
Oh, duh. It's not. Don't worry about it. It's in your head.
I won't do that anymore.
No, he never did have bedside manner. So, and then basically it's just breathe through the nose. Oh, that's all I had to do. Thanks. Like, I just had to breathe through my fucking nose instead of going...
I don't want to breathe through my nose all the time. I hate breathing through my nose.
I don't feel like I can get enough breath that way. If I close my mouth and, like, try to breathe in and out just from my nose, it gets uncomfortable after a few in and outs. Because it's like, I need to, like, fill my lungs.
That deep breath, yeah.
So, yeah, even though it's basically just through the nose, Hurley's totally impressed. And he's like, it was like a Jedi moment. Probably my first introduction to Star Wars. No, not really.
Oh, my God.
Jack's on his way to get the inhalers, is what he says. And then Saeed explains the job description of communications officer a little bit better. You know, it was actually to get people to communicate via torture.
Yeah.
I mean, good fucking cover, though. I'm a communications officer.
Yeah.
He volunteers to get the inhalers. Just give me 10 minutes with him. And then Jack gives his approval. He's like, yep, go for it.
He was pissed, so I get it.
I mean, irrational.
Yeah.
He's not thinking rationally at all. I mean, obviously Sawyer doesn't have them, but...
But Jack's been through a lot, too. I mean, I know that...
We all have.
Yeah, I know, but... I mean, he was...
I meant us.
A day or so ago, trapped in a cave, and...
Yeah.
You know, all that other stuff, and he's trying to take care of everybody, and, you know.
Yeah.
Sawyer's just chilling, reading books, and swimming in the ocean, so
well, he's
a
not
little
the
bit more relaxed.
Yep. Charlie tries to get peanut butter from Hurley. There's got to be something. I mean, look at you.
So mean.
And Hurley's like, look, it, you know, it may not seem like much, but I'm down a belt notch. You know, one loop in my belt.
Yeah.
I'm a big guy. It's going to be a while before you want to give me a piggyback ride.
Yeah.
Good stuff. And then Charlie just, like, keeps apologizing. Like, sorry about that. Yeah, totally. My bad. This is one of their I feel like they're starting to bond there a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Not too much, because he was just a dick to him, but I feel like that's like the beginning of a friendship, when you start being dicks to each other a little bit.
Sometimes.
And then pull back from it and
Right.
go, oh, sorry about that. I didn't mean to.
Sorry.
Now, this is, I'm reading this straight up from TJ's recap. Michael trying to clean a fish, in parentheses, reminds me of Jenna and her salmon, LOL.
Oh, it was awful.
Just the way he hits him in the face, and, you know, he's trying to pull the whatever out of it. And
that was the worst.
was it at all like Michael trying to do the fish? Did you see that? Do you remember? He fucking shot it up in his face.
Yeah.
And then sun
No,
came
we
up.
didn't. It didn't splash us in the face at all, but it was just repulsive and not. I mean, when you're thinking about making this beautiful meal, and you're like, you think about. Like, oh, I'm going to pretend like I'm actually a chef tonight and I know what I'm doing, but we just totally screwed it up and it was terrible. Awful.
So Sun comes up and tells Michael that she thinks she can help Shannon with her breathing. And, like, oh, thanks for speaking up now.
Right.
Where the fuck you been? At the beach, Saeed says good morning to Sawyer and knocks him the fuck out. What a ridiculous sound effect.
Sound effect?
When he hit Sawyer with the pipe, it was like... Like, what? No, what? Why is it gotta be so... I mean, just like, let's just add 7 sound effects together, and that's it.
Maybe it was echoing.
No.
Okay.
Kate, if you do this, and then, like, they just keep walking, what, Kate? If they do this, what? What?
Right.
What? So, aren't you the brave one, jumping a guy while he's napping?
Right.
He's like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble now, when he sees Jack. Jack tries to get Sawyer to tell him where they are before Saeed has to, you know, do the deed. It doesn't have to be this way, and Sawyer's like, yeah, it does.
But at this point, Saeed thinks that Sawyer hit him over the head, as well as is hiding...
Oh, you know what? I didn't even put that together. Yeah, he is...
Is hiding the...
Yeah, so he's pissed about 2 things here. He thinks he's got the inhalers, and he's like, oh, this is the fucker.
Yeah.
And then Sawyer calls Saeed's bluff. He's like, I don't think you communicated with anybody, or I don't think you tortured anyone. And then he starts fucking doing it. That's all you got? No wonder we kicked your ass in the Gulf War.
Oh,
and then
awful.
Jack is uncomfortable with the screaming that Sawyer's doing.
I was uncomfortable.
He says, don't stop. I think my sinuses are clearing.
Oh my God.
And after a knife to the eye, he says he'll tell her. And then...
He'll tell Kate.
Yeah, he'll tell Kate. And he's like, kiss? And the baby, I'm tied to a tree in the jungle of mystery, and I just got tortured by a damn spinal surgeon and a genuine Iraqi.
Oh my God.
Damn right I'm serious. And then he cons her into kissing him.
Yeah.
And he tells her, it's only first base. And she agrees and does tongue. She seemed a little into it.
Well, yeah.
I mean, like, instantly. Like, wouldn't you just go, mwah, and be like, okay, I'm out? Or, like, it wasn't like they agreed to...
No, because she has a thing for him.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, it was nice and
He's like,
telling
oh, well, if you're going to force me,
yeah.
then fine.
Oh, if my hands are tied. Then he tells her that he doesn't have him and never did. The book washed up on shore, and she fucking elbows him right in the face.
So good.
Saeed doesn't believe her or him, and he thinks he doesn't want to get off this island. That's why he attacked me. Why not ask him about it while you're at it? While you're fucking torturing him, why don't you say, did you hit me?
Right.
He's like, he would have said, like, I fucking wish I did. And then Sawyer frees his hands while Saeed runs at him, and then they start fighting, and Saeed stabs him in the arm and hits an artery.
So awful.
I mean, it just looked terrible, the spot it was. Imagine stabbed right through the bicep. Oh, Jesus,
I mean,
that hurt a
only
little
if you're
bit.
just going to cut off all the flab.
No, I don't think that's what he's doing. And then, so sequence of events. All just talking shit, torturing, fighting, stabs him in the arm. Jack says to Saeed, go get the bags to save him. And off he runs with no question.
Yeah.
You mean the guy I just stabbed in the arm? Go get the bag to save
The guy
him?
was
Sure.
just hammering shit under his fingernails. Yeah.
Like, not a fucking no hesitation. So, yeah. Back at the caves, Boone is pissed that they went after Sawyer without him and was going to go back with Saeed, but Shannon asked him not to leave her alone. He's such a sucker for her. Like, ugh.
I know.
It's annoying. Jen sees Michael and Son together with the plant, and he freaks out. Why no subtitles? Why do they fucking pick and choose when he's bitching?
Right. He's just Jinsushi? Jinsushi?
No, that's her to him.
Sun sushi?
But Son walks away, and Michael stands his ground. And he's like, "Don't. I'm telling you, man."
Yeah.
Sawyer tells Jack to let go. Ironically, if you think about it, everybody's always telling Jack to let go.
He is.
And Jack because he wouldn't let go. Sawyer's still alive. I know you want to, and wow, he really gets Jack. Just like, he wants to let go, but just can't. This is what you do. You play the hero and fix everything up all nice. And that's so fucking Jack. I mean, talk about being able to read people.
Yeah.
Time to let go. He couldn't resist rubbing it in Jack's face already. If the tables were turned, he would have watched him die.
Which is true.
Yes. At the beach, Sawyer wakes up with his arm bandaged, and Kate figures out that Sawyer wants to be hated, and that he wrote the letter based on the bicentennial stamp on it. I mean, not really rocket science, but it was from 1976. So it was a 200-year anniversary. He put that stamp on there that year. So she knew it was written in the 70s.
Oh, not that.
It was written in 77.
He received it recently?
Correct.
Okay.
So even if he had received it, it wouldn't make any sense.
Right.
If he received it when he was 7, or if he wrote it when he was 7, he couldn't have been the Sawyer writing it because he was 7.
Right.
Yes, right. Anyway. Or no, it couldn't have been written to him because he was 7 at the time.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say. Gotcha. Sawyer, let's see. She figures out his name isn't Sawyer, and the real Sawyer was a con man, and he explains the story of the girl before Cassidy, right? That's who he was talking about?
I think so.
Or was he talking about Cassidy? Because he did take her money, too.
I mean, he took a lot of girls' money, so I don't know which one he's talking about.
Okay, so he became the man he was hunting, and then he's, "Don't you feel sorry for me?" And then he kicks her out. At the cave, Son applies the plant goo to Shannon.
So do you think that he's super shitty right now because he 10 days ago, he just killed that guy who wasn't Sawyer. So, and he knew afterwards that it wasn't Sawyer. So maybe he's just still real salty about the fact that he went out of his way to go down to Sydney to kill the guy that he's been hunting his whole life.
And now he's on the island.
And now he's stuck here and can't kill the guy he wants to kill.
Yep. Yeah, makes sense. At the cave, Son applies the plant goo to Shannon.
Yeah.
And Jack smells it and figures out it's eucalyptus. And he's mad at himself for not thinking of it. Jack thanks Son, who turns around and sees Jen staring at her. How dare she help anybody? You know what I mean? Like, I know his rule was only, stick to us. It's only about us. We're all this important.
But everybody else is working together.
Yeah. I mean, he's just, it's still so out of character.
Yeah. Well, but he's also super cut off. Like, he has no idea what anybody's saying. So I get it.
Yeah, valid. Yeah, at least in Korea, he knew what people were talking about around him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he doesn't even have Son as the translator yet.
No.
Charlie's packing up Claire's stuff at the beach, and this is the imaginary peanut butter scene.
Yeah, super cute.
It's extra smooth. Like, he makes it like it's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
I got one thing, though. And he's so convincing and into it that she joins in, and for some reason it made me well up.
Yeah.
Like, just his commitment to the bit is admirable.
Yeah.
You know? Why did he have to die?
I know, and it really showed that he cared for her at that point in time.
Like, the fact that he was willing to look stupid and, like, pretend something that's...
ridiculous. Yeah.
I mean, because that's... If he does that with 60% commitment, it fails.
Well, and
she laughs. Get out of here with that shit. Seriously, I thought you had it.
Yeah.
But because he was just like, fuck, this is fucking, mouth. You gotta have milk and...
Right.
Commitment, kids. That's all you need to do. Just walk. If you go to a concert and you want to walk backstage, walk back there with authority, like you're supposed to be there, and people just move out of your way. Excuse me. Like, I'm supposed to be here.
I have this tag on.
It's almost like you should be a confidence man. Confidence is key.
Oh, got it.
At the beach, Saeed tells Kate goodbye. He feels very bad about what he did, and because he had promised never to do it again. And he's going to walk the shore to map the island.
This is when he finds...
Well, there's a great song by the Blind Boys of Alabama, who are the ones who did the Wire theme song, which you don't know either of those things, and that's fine. It was called I Shall Not Walk Alone. And then they did like a little montage, and there were Claire and Charlie walk to the caves, and then Boone and Shannon are making peace and seemingly happy. And Sawyer starts to burn his letter, but can't. And Saeed begins his trek. And then that's when we cut to day 12, where I'm like, how did they skip day 11? Or how do we know they skipped day 11? The notes just said 2 days later. And I'm like, how the fuck do you know that? And then later on, Kate says, it's been 2 days since he left.
Oh.
That same day,
okay.
She says that. So Saeed is at the sitting on the beach looking at a picture of Nadia, and she drew some cute birds on the back of the picture, and some number 3s. Yeah. It's adorable. She just wanted to make it like, look up and you'll always think of me, the birds.
Yeah.
He spots a wire in the sand. I mean, it's pretty fucking convenient that of all the places he chose to sit, it was right there. And then he looks over and sees the one frayed part of the wire. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, everything was perfect for that.
I mean,
I get that it's to move the story along,
yes.
but that's one of those things that's like, okay, come on. Maybe if he had tripped over it as he was walking, or because he's looking at the pictures while he's walking, but anyway, he sees it, that it goes into the water in the jungle, and he follows it into the jungle. Now, obviously, you have to do that, but my God, that intrigued the fuck out of me when we saw that. Oh my God, it goes into the water? Does that connect to the mainland? Like, that was my thought. Like, where the fuck does that go?
Yeah.
I didn't think there was power on the island, so I figured it had to be coming in from the outside. It was like, oh, mind blown. Don't know where this is going to go now. The show just got a lot bigger. At the beach, we go back to Jack and Sawyer, and Jack's taking care of his bandage. And he's like, how do I score a house call, Dr. Quinn? And Jack says his conscience is clean. Doesn't feel bad about getting him tortured. And he's like, why not? You just let a damn Arab torture me. You patch me up and buy a ticket back to heaven.
Right.
And he's like, I'm only here because no one else wants anything to do with you. And he's like, she does. And smiles, and Jack leaves. Oh. Change your own bandages.
Right. I mean, why does everybody... I don't know. Why does he care so much about Kate at this
Jack?
point? Both of them.
First of all, I don't know that Sawyer does. I don't know that he's like super in love with her here. He has a thing with
Jack.
her. Exactly.
That's it.
He's using her to get to Jack. Yes. So she's his pawn.
He knows how to con people.
Yes. Jack talks to Kate, and she's worried about Saeed. It's been 2 days since he left. Jack says he'll come back when he finds the French transmission or whatever he's looking for.
Or the French woman.
Yeah. She's like, he isn't fucking looking for anything. He left because of what he did. It was an accident. Yeah, accidents happens when you torture people, Jack.
Yeah.
Jack says that he's a trained soldier and will take care of himself. Not that but Saeed is.
Right.
Yeah. And then we cut to Saeed, and he sees that he's passing by a trap, and like gets down real low, looks at the little wire, and he steps over, but still gets trapped.
Yeah.
And he swings into a tree and gets a branch in his thigh. So that looked pleasant.
Never fun.
I mean, a branch. You know how jagged branches are that are broken off? That must have fucking tore apart your leg. Let's see. Then we go to the tail section for the first time in a fucking while.
At least a few days.
Yeah. Anna Lucia and Goodwin talk about the boar, and she's like, I want some bacon, maybe. We could have some bacon tomorrow. The kids are playing, and then Nathan comes out of the woods from taking a piss, and apparently they have a system for that, and of fucking course they do with Anna Lucia in charge. Of course they have a system for peeing. Like, she's so fucking anal with it being everything. A cop. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we gotta have a system for that. I need to take a shit.
Right.
I don't want somebody standing 2 feet away from me. That's weird. So that was the rest of the day.
Paper. Did they have toilet
leaves.
paper?
You find leaves. leaves.
At the rope store?
At the rope store, do they also have toilet paper? Toilet paper, tarps, rope.
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter. Hashtag toilet paper, tarps, rope, peanut butter.
Nice.
Let's see. We go to the night campfire, and the tailies get attacked again as they're sleeping. They take several people and the kids. Anna hits one in the head, a female, and she tries to wake her up. And Goodwin's like, who probably knew her.
Yeah.
Is like, she's dead. Like, he did a good job of not giving away.
Wife,
no, I know.
Yeah.
But he did a good job of not giving away that he knew her. Because
yeah.
he's just like, hey, Anna, she's dead. Like, he could have been like, fuck, she's dead, okay?
Right.
Shit.
Like, you killed her.
You fucking murdered my friend.
Right. She was in my book club.
Yeah, she was in my book club.
Or my girlfriend and wife's book club.
Yeah. Yeah. My gwife's.
Wives.
Bernard doesn't like that she's checking the body. He's like, hey. And she was like going through the pockets and stuff. He just showing his character.
Yeah.
You know, he's a good dude.
Respecting the dead body, even though she was there to take you guys.
And then she finds a knife and a list on her with 9 names and what they're wearing and shit, which is pretty creepy.
Yes. Were there even 9 of them?
That were gone? That were taken?
On the tail section?
Yeah, but not by the time they got here. By the time they started trekking across the island, no. There was like 6. I mean, there were not that many.
Every time we see the tail section, I feel like it's only 4 people, so I don't believe that there were 9 of them there to be taken.
To be taken, yeah. There's no sign of them, and then Echo is still refusing to talk. And she's like, what the fuck is it going to take for you to say something?
Right.
And Nathan suggests that maybe they're watching us, which maybe not the best way to put it. Sort of puts you like why are you saying that?
Right.
What do you mean? I mean, they have to be watching you. I guess that's why he would say it. Goodwin squashes the paranoia that Anna has towards Nathan for being gone for 2 hours.
Because he was taking a dump?
Yeah, she's just like, Goodwin just kind of was like, you're being paranoid. Like, which is funny because he's literally talking about you and you're saving him and kind of seemingly coming to his aid. And then Bernard agrees with Goodwin. Yeah, why would they try to infiltrate us? That's crazy. Libby suggests that they leave the beach, and Goodwin says it's time to let the signal fire go out. And then Ana Lucia's like, Hawkeye and Nathan. I mean, we know how that goes. It doesn't end well for Nathan.
No.
At night in the jungle, we're back to Saeed in the net, and then Rousseau releases him. And then back at the caves, back to Jack's cave, treating a hypochondriac.
Is this all still season 1? No.
Yes, this is season 1. Yeah.
The other 48 days was still season 1?
No, that was season 2.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Like, Rose Rousseau and Saeed, all that was in season 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Saeed, I want to say Saeed finds the thing in translation. No, maybe not. I don't know. It was like episode 14 or 16, somewhere towards the late teens of
like the end of season 1 was when they were at the tower, right? And they were trying to, or no, was that season 3? When they like found the tower and they all thought that they were getting rescued. That was more like 3 because the helicopter was coming or somebody was. I'm thinking way later.
He found it in Solitary, which was episode 9. Yeah, so I was wrong on that. We're only at episode 9 on the beach.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to figure out what episode that was. It was gonna bug me. Wow, so that happened relatively early because I remember that being a key to hooking me in this show.
Yeah.
That wire. I'm like, fuck, there's other people here? Like, we knew there were. No, we didn't.
We didn't know.
We didn't know there were others.
No. Because Goodwin and Ethan were.
Well, we didn't know that Ethan was anything, and Goodwin we didn't even know in season 1. Wow, that's crazy. I didn't even think about that. We don't know. We didn't know that there was anybody else on the island until we see Rousseau's cable.
Right.
Or, well, not her cable, but the cable that he follows and runs into her.
And, of course, the monster. We know the monster is on the island.
Yes, we know there's something.
The giant troll that lives there.
Yeah. So, the hypochondriac. I love that he's just, like, in this one episode and not ever seen again. Like, he was used for that one scene. Not that he was worth going back to.
Like Nikki and Paolo?
Yes.
Okay.
But he was there from the beginning, I guess. So, he's like, what are hives? It's a common rash. Try and keep your mind off it. What is that? What is that like? Is it aloe? Like, fucking just go away. And then Hurley laughs about, oh yeah, what's that got to do but think about it?
Right.
Like, of course, keep your mind off
Right.
it.
Don't think about the hives. Don't think about the mosquitoes that are swarming around you about to eat you to death.
And then Hurley and Jack talk about needing something to do to relieve stress. And he's like, he's like, yeah, it could be worse. And he's like, how? Good delivery. And then Rousseau's cabin. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't even know. It does get worse. Saeed slowly wakes up to a male voice saying Alex, and then it sort of sounds like the whispers to me, like it was kind of echoing, and then it turns into a female voice, and then she shocks him when he says he doesn't know where Alex is.
And this was she using like a voice thing, or was it just him hearing
him
her?
waking up that way? He was kind of disoriented. He's hearing,
yeah, okay.
Where's Alex? You know.
Where's Alex? Where's Alex?
Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah,
Where's
good.
Alex?
High pitched and shrieking. Ideal. So we got a Saeed face to end the episode where he was getting shocked. I can't do them, but ridiculous.
That's always that's his like O face on the screen.
It's the worst.
Like, disgusting.
I don't know why it's so bad.
Blow a load all over the camera. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know. Anything else from this episode worth discussing?
Not that I know of. But we didn't see Nikki and Paulo on the beach at all.
We didn't. That's
weird.
Yeah, I didn't see them anymore. Or at the caves.
Yeah.
They must have always been looking for the diamonds.
They must have been worried about the spiders, like right now.
Yeah. TJ said, I imagine you have had similar experiences as when I end up discovering I was wrong about a view or answering something on Lost. I feel like a lawyer for the show, thus we need to go by what was canon in the show and try to prove things based on facts. It's not an easy task, but I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's totally the only reason that I want to do this podcast, is for that exact thought. Like, I want to figure out, based on facts in the show, what is and isn't true, what things do work out. You know what I mean? What stuff, for the things that weren't answered, like what are logical conclusions to come to, and if they gave us everything, we wouldn't be fucking doing this, because it'd be like, oh, the end was that, and we're done. You know? I don't know that
the end was the end.
It was, but it wasn't.
We were done.
But not.
They're done.
But then they had the whole afterlife thing. Because they all died when the plane crashed?
But is their watch over?
Is their watch over? The show is. So please go on iTunes. Find the How to Watch TV podcast. Give us a rating, preferably 5 stars. Leave a review. Tell people why you listen to us, so that maybe they'll look at it and go, "Oh, they blah. They have high, shrill, annoying voices."
Maybe, right here. Yeah. I love to talk.
Maybe
I like to talk like this.
We'll definitely want to listen to that. So, I mean, tell people about the show.
Tell me you hate me. I love it.
We don't have any advertising budget or anything, so it's really just word of mouth. If you know other people who love Lost or haven't even discovered Chronologically Lost, tell them to get their asses watching the show.
Right.
And then watch this show. And then we'll be back next week, because
this is How to Watch TV.
See you later.
All these memories in my mind, my mind. I'm still a secret lemonade drinker.